Most people spend their entire life defending a version of themselves they never chose.
What do you mean, never chose?
Your name was given to you, your nationality assigned, your religion inherited, your beliefs installed, and you've been calling that a personality.
So who am I then?
That's the only question worth asking.
The ego is not you. It's a construction built from every label the world placed on you before you could speak.
So everything I think I am
Is a story, told so many times you stopped noticing it was a story. The ego is what psychologists call the narrative self, not consciousness. A filter consciousness looks through.
So the ego is like a character?
A character you forgot you were playing. For thousands of years, the traditions that understood power understood one thing first. The old identity has to die before a real one can form. You cannot carry a constructed self into an unconditioned reality.
And psilocybin does that?
Psilocybin doesn't do anything. It removes the filter.
Clinical research at Johns Hopkins found that psilocybin reliably induces ego dissolution, a complete collapse of the narrative self. Patients described it as the most meaningful experience of their lives, not because they saw something new, but because their old filter disappeared.
What do you actually experience?
You stop being a name. You stop being a body. You stop being a nationality, a history, a set of problems. And what remains is awareness itself.
That sounds terrifying.
It is, because the ego doesn't want to die. It will fight. It will create panic. It will convince you that if it goes, you go with it.
So how do you get through that?
You stop trying to survive it. The terror is the ego protecting its own existence. The moment you stop defending it dissolves.
The nervous system interprets identity dissolution as a threat, same neurological response as physical danger. That's why most people turn back at the edge and spend the rest of their lives defending a self that was never real.
So what's on the other side when the ego is gone?
The recognition that you were never what you thought you were, before the name, before the story, before the filter. Every major contemplative tradition points to the same thing. Enlightenment in Buddhism, the void in Taoism. Different words, same realization. You are the consciousness the character appears in.
And psilocybin just shows you that?
It forces you to experience it instead of think about it. Most people can understand this intellectually for decades and never feel it once.
So what actually changes after?
The labels lose their grip. Your name is still there. Your body is still there. Your history is still there. But the one who was suffering inside all of it, the one made of inherited fears, other people's ceilings, borrowed beliefs, that one stops running the show.
Studies show lasting reductions in depression, anxiety, and addiction after a single psilocybin session. Not because the mushroom fixed something, because the ego stopped defending everything.
So the ego was causing the suffering.
And you've been mistaking the ego for yourself.
Why doesn't anyone talk about this?
Because a person who knows they are the consciousness cannot be sold an identity, cannot be contained by a label, cannot be controlled by the fear of losing something they never were.
So the system needs the ego intact.
Everything is built on it. Every advertisement, every political identity, every tribal conflict runs on people who believe they are the character. The moment you see through it, you become ungovernable.